everybody! Today I'm going to show you how to make your very own flower filled tutu skirt. A lot of people, quite a few people, I've gotten a lot of requests on how to make these cute, adorable flower filled tutu skirts. And they're really simple to make, and you only need a few supplies. So today I'm going to show you exactly what you need and how to do it, and you should be able to make your very own flower filled tutu skirt in no time at all. Okay, in order to make your very own flower filled tutu skirt with a ribbon casing around the top part, there's a few things you're going to need. You'll need 2 yards of tulle. Now, this is not like the tulle that we use with some of the other tutu skirts, but this is a tulle that's on a bolt. And you're going to need 2 yards of this. I say 2 yards because if you're going to make a skirt for your average 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old, 6-year-old, if you want to make a skirt about this size, 2 yards is what you're going to need. Okay, so you get your 2 yards of tulle. You're going to need some thin elastic, the thin one. I think this is 3/8 of an inch, but I'll put all the instructions, the supply list for you right down below. For your average size child, you want to take your elastic, and this is about a 19-inch piece of elastic. You can go a little bit longer depending on the child's waistline. And you're going to need a piece of ribbon. And for me, and I'm going to show you a close-up on this, in order to do your ribbon casing, I just took 2 pieces of, let's see how wide this is, 2 pieces of 2-inch ribbon and stitched it together because we're going to flip it inside out, and that's going to be our waistband. And I'll show you how to do all that in a minute. Let me readjust the camera. In order to make your flower filled tutu, you're going to need 2 yards of tulle, the kind that's on the bolt. And one of the things you need to do, and I haven't quite found any other way to show you how to do this, but when you buy tulle or any fabric on the roll, it's going to have a folded edge, and it's going to have 2 open edges. But when you bring your tulle, your tulle home from the fabric shop or craft store, what you want to do is fold it in half. Right now, we're not going to worry so much about the width of it or being super duper exact. But you want to take it and you want to bring your ends together. So you now have 4 sections. You're going to have the folded section and you're going to have 2 open sections. And you want to just fold it in half and just make sure it's even all the way down. And then, let me see if I can fold this first. This is a little tricky. It's also kind of hard for me holding it up showing you, but if you lay it flat on a table, you'll be fine. Okay. So once I have it all folded in half, you see you have a long tube essentially. Remember now, you're going to have the folded edge, and then you're going to have your 2 open edges. Okay? And what you're going to do, you're going to stitch all the way down the entire length of your tulle. And let me do that, and I'll come right back and show you what I did. As you can see, I basically made a stitch all the way down through all 4 layers of the tulle. So now you have this inside pocket here, okay? But it's really important that you make this seam because otherwise it would be almost impossible to deal with this tool for the next couple of steps. Now, if you notice, tulle is a really hard fabric for me to work with. So I'm going to trim off all this excess because we need to attach the ribbon casing to it, and then we need to run the elastic through it. And of course we're going to fill it up with some beautiful little, some flowers. So let me go ahead and see if I can reposition the camera and show you how to do this next step. Okay, as you can see, I'm gonna make this a little bit easier on myself, and you want to make it easy for yourself as well. You have this part where you stitch, and hopefully, let me see if I can readjust here so to be sure you can see that. Okay, you can see I used a contrasting color thread so you could really see it, but it's just a single stitch all the way around just to kind of hold everything together for right now. But you see, I wasn't being real diligent and perfect, so it's got some excess edge that we're just going to cut off. So I'm just going to line this up nice and even. And you just want to cut very close to the line, and you need it to be even. You don't want to cut through that stitch you have. You just want to cut right above it so it's all nice and even. So that way you won't run into it and it gets all bunched up when you're running the elastic through there. And just cut all this excess off. See, this is one craft project. It's a wee bit more involved, but if you have the time and energy, you can do it, and you can do multiple ones of these at once, and you'll be fine. But you can see I'm not being super duper perfect still, and I may still cut some more off. So there, yeah, oh, here's a little bit more I'm gonna cut off. Now, another step you're gonna have to do with this, I stitched it first, I think they call it a basting seam, just to kind of keep it all my 4 layers together for now. But you're gonna have to go back to your sewing machine, and you're gonna run another very, very loose stitch through here so that you can ruffle this, because it needs to gather in order for you to get that fullness. Okay, let me go and do this stitch, and I'll come back and show you how to do that. Okay, as you can see, I made a very basic stitch. Let me see if I can show you this. There's a second stitch I made all across the width of the fabric of the tulle, because I needed it to bunch up, and so it'll have that ruffled effect. Now, don't worry if you don't have a ruffler foot on your sewing machine. You don't need a ruffler foot to do this. You just make a very loose stitch, and the fabric will gather pretty much on its own. And you just want to lay that out flat. Okay. And what you're going to do is you're going to take, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to show you too. Okay. You take 2 pieces of ribbon, whatever color you want. You've got 2 pieces of ribbon. Then you're going to stitch them together down the side, because this is going to be the casing, the top part, the ribbony part for your flower filled tutu skirt. Okay, let's see. So you need to pin this to your tulle. Now, I tend to when I make these to sell, I'm just dealing with a general size, an average size child. So I'm just going to lay this out flat, and I pretty much already know the measurements that I want it to be. With the measurements, you want to push this out or pin it to your ribbon edge at least 36 inches worth, because remember, this was way more than that when we started out. But you want it to have that full and fluffy look. So just measure out to about 36 inches onto your ribbon, and then just start pinning it. And I left some of the ribbon ends open, and I'll show you what we'll do with that later. But let me see here. 36 inches is about from here. Oops. To about here. Okay. So I've got that laid out. And now you just need to start pinning. And if it comes unbunched, I don't know if you can see that. Let me change the angle here a little bit for you. Okay. Now, if it comes unbunched a little bit while you're doing your pinning, just pin it back down. Just bunch it back up. And it'll be fine. And then you want to pin all along the length of your ribbon, like I said, to about 36 inches. So we're just going to scooch it out. All the way. So you have that nice little fluffy look to it. And so go a little bit more. Okay, I'll make sure you can see that. And yep, so you can see it's all the way stretched out to about 36 inches. And then we're going to pin this down all the way. You're going to sew all along one of the seams. Now you could, if you're really good with this and you practice, you could fold this over and just sew it one time and call it a day. For me, in doing this, I think I will probably, let's see, today, I will probably go ahead and pin all this down, stitch it once, and then I'm going to come back and do my other stitch because I want it to line up and look neat. Okay? And I'll show you that in the next step. Or the end results in the next step. Okay, and we're back because I wanted to show you. I pinned it all the way down. As you can see, just pin all the way along all 36 inches of the skirt that you have laid out so far. And now I'm going to sew it here. Then I'm going to bring the other fold over and sew that closed on top. So now you won't see the seam or all the little frou-frou-y stuff on the inside, and it's gonna look great, really. So yeah, ultimately we're gonna fold this down. Now I might cheat a little bit and just go ahead and fold it over while I'm sewing. It's up to you, whichever method works best for you. But I do want to keep this nice and neat. Okay, and you will see a seam on the outside, but it's gonna look great because if you use a contrasting color of thread, then all is right with the world. It'll be pretty. Okay, now you will see that we stitched the ribbon edge, the casing, all along the edge of the skirt. Now, take your elastic and put a safety pin on the end. And this is actually about 20, I think this is either 19 or 20, right about 19 inches of elastic. And what you're going to do is, remember now you had an open end on that casing. You're going to thread your elastic all the way through. I just happen to be using a slimmer piece of elastic this go around, but you could certainly use a wider piece of elastic. So just slide that all the way through. Oops. Uh-oh. Let me take the pin out because it came. Slide that all the way through. Okay, and here we are back again. Now you can see where we slipped the elastic on the inside, and I just stitched, hopefully you can see this. I stitched my elastic together so it won't come loose. And in a minute, we're going to, when you pull these ends together, this you can do with hand stitching to close that opening that's in there where you slid the elastic in. Now remember, you have these pockets, these openings, and I just got one of those plastic flower lays that they have for luau's and whatever type of parties. And I'm just taking all the flowers off. Won't need those little thingy-majigs that are in there. And I'm just gonna take all the flowers that I can, and you can use flowers, butterflies, pretty much anything you want to go in here. And I'm just going to take a handful of these, and you just find the opening. I'm going to run my hand all the way through so I can spread them out kind of semi-evenly. And we're almost done. So now you got your flowers inside. Hope you can see that. Let me move you a little closer to see that. So we've got our flowers inside, but we still have this opening right here on the edge. And you want to turn your circle skirt to the side that's going to be considered the inside, and pull these edges together, match them up, and then you're just going to stitch right along there. I'll show you. Hang on. Okay, we're back and we're almost done. As you can see, I stitched along the open edge of the entire tube of the skirt. Right along, let's see if you can see this. Oh, yep. Right along here, I stitched totally the edge closed so all your flower petals will stay inside. Now I'm just going to trim off a little bit of excess tulle so it won't be all scratchy. And we're almost done. So just going to get off all these little excess threads. I have a lot of extra threads because I double stitched it to make sure it would stay closed. And it's up to you how you want to do that yourself. Get all these little extra ones off. Okay, now just flip it back over, inside out. And remember, on this part where the elastic is, we're going to do hand stitching. But in the meantime, I'm going to make a bow and show you how pretty this is. Ta-da! Okay. Now you have a very cute, adorable flower-filled tutu skirt. So enjoy, and feel free if you have questions, just go ahead and drop me a line. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a lovely day. Flower-filled tutu skirt. Wasn't that easy? Simple. And once again, just to give you a quick recap, today we made this adorable flower-filled tutu skirt. I went step by step with you with the instructions. You can use different types of flower, different types of tulle, pretty much anything you want to use. And hopefully, I think the instructions are real easy, simple, basic. Take your time, go slow. Tulle is very inexpensive, so, oh, I like the way this came out. And you can also, it's a bag basically. You can reposition the flowers on the inside. You can add more, you could add glitter, you could add sparkly stuff. It's up to you. But enjoy the day, and thank you for watching another Sugar Plum Dolls, Clothespin Dolls tutorial on how to make a flower-filled tutu skirt. Bye! Have a great day!